So here is the Spyderco Para 3. Let me start off with the specs on it. Overall length is 7.27. Blade length is right at 3 inches. Blade material is CPM S30V. It has a clip point style blade with the flat grind satin finish. The handle material is a textured G10. Overall weight is 3 ounces. It has 4-position pocket clip mounting all the way top, bottom, all around for mounting your clip wherever. And it has the manual Spidey hole opening right there. So there's multiple ways to open it. As you can see, the lock is a compression lock on the back of the handle there. Some people like that, some people don't. It is very super smooth. Allows you to, the blade just drops right down when you release it there with the lock. I would say overall it's a little more comfortable to do it, user friendly to do it right-handed than it is left-handed. It just feels a little less secure in your hand, the way you have to hold it to close the blade as a lefty versus as a righty. Let's get rid of the box here. Don't need that. Overall, being just slightly smaller version of the Paramilitary 2, the Para 3 is an excellent knife. I love the ergonomics on it. I love the size of it. As you know, I'm from my other videos, my other knives, I'm not a huge fan of blades that are over 3 1/4 inches in length. I just don't care for a huge folding knife. I like something that's a little smaller, a little more compact in my pocket. And I don't have huge hands. I have large hands, but not huge hands. So I have no trouble with the smaller handles fitting really well in my hand. No problem at all there. Let's start off with the bad, from the not so bad to had to do something about it. One complaint thing here, not a huge deal to me, but it is kind of ridiculous how big that lanyard hole is. That's a really, really big lanyard hole. And it doesn't seem to feel that the edge of that hole is totally flush with the G10 textured handle, but you know, that's being super nitpicky. You know, it's a ridiculously large lanyard hole. Not necessary, but they didn't want to do anything about it. They kind of, you know, kept it the same size as what's on the Paramilitary 2. So I guess for the sake of manufacturing, it just made things a little easier for Spyderco. Whatever. The next thing is just to point it out. Not an issue for me, but on the Paramilitary 2, this pin right here is actually a screw on the Paramilitary 2, whereas the Para 3 here is just a inserted, pressed in pin for the lock pin for the blade. Locks up on there. So that's, you know, that's just a difference. Some people, those who take their knives apart for whatever reason, cleaning and whatnot, even though it's a very open handled frame design, easy to clean without having to take it apart. Some people still like to take it apart and do different things with it. So that is just a press pin there and not a screw. So it is what it is. The other thing that I don't really care for is the clip. Yeah, the clip. Let me show you. This is the original clip that goes on it. If I set it here on the other side. So the original clip, that's how much of the handle is coming up out of the pocket. If you're tip down, if you're tip up, there you go. That much. That much is sticking out of your pocket. And that's quite a bit. For some of us, that's a huge no. We don't like it, or just absolutely hate it, can't stand it. So we much prefer the deep carry clips that almost completely 99% hide the entire handle in our pockets, rather than having so much of the handle sticking up there. The other thing, if I have to hold it right there. If you notice the way the clip is designed, again, this is the exact same clip that's on the Paramilitary 2. They just, stuck the same clip. Manufacturing makes it easy and cost effective to just use the same clip, even though it's kind of awfully beefy for the smaller handle. It's a pretty big clip for this knife. Retrospect to the size of the handle, size of the clip, size of the blade. It's really oversized. But the other thing is, and can be an issue for some, is that how far this clip comes up. The shape of the clip, the style of it, it really comes up off of the handle, sticks up really high, comes up really high right in here. And whereas that's probably not a thing to bother anybody when it's in the pocket, but as far as the way it feels, the way the knife feels in your hand, when that much of the clip is sticking out from the handle, I imagine that creates a hot spot. And I didn't, when I first got it and used the knife a handful of times, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it felt. It felt like it was going to create a hot spot, with some heavier use, and I didn't want that. And I also wanted a deep carry pocket clip. So let me tell you about the clip that's on here real quick. I just wanted to do a shout out to a gentleman on Amazon who makes these clips. He goes by the user of Blade 4 Cell. That's Blade with a capital B, and then 4 as in the number 4, and then Cell, S-E-L-L, not sale, Cell, no spacing, Blade 4 Cell. He's on Amazon. He's got a handful of different colors and different designs for different clips, that for the Spydercos as well as Benchmade, and I think one or two other knife brands. He makes the clips for some of your popular knives out there. And he's a great guy, has his own shop, does his own custom work. I'm sure if you had a knife that you wanted a clip made for, that you get in contact with him through Amazon Messenger, and he can help you out and get you set up there. It was about $25-26 for this to be sent to me. Yeah, I did have to bounce a couple emails back and forth with him to just specify the details of the color and the finish and everything. I've carried it a handful of days with the new clip on it, and craftsmanship is fantastic, especially with the extra detail of countersinking with the holes for the screws, so that the screws sat down in there nice and flush with the metal clip, and the retention is excellent there. I love the blue, which I asked him for, and the eagle is kind of a nice flare touch for me, personalizing it for me as I am an Eagle Scout. So that was really cool, and just overall very happy with the clip, and just want to say thank you very much to the gentleman who made it for me and sent it to me. Really appreciate the hard work that you put into those. And overall, Spyderco, thank you for answering customers' prayers and complaints about the Paramilitary 2 being a little too big and unable to have for legal reasons in some areas of the states here, to come out with this Para 3. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I love it, especially with the new clip on it. It's fantastic. knife, a great workhorse for those who needed or wanted something a little bit smaller than the Paramilitary 2. Here's your answer. Spyderco, fired away and got that spat out, and no, they didn't cut in any corners around it coming out, and what they did, and it's an excellent knife. I definitely recommend it for those who want a small workhorse of a knife for everyday carry, and are outdoorsmen type people like myself, who need that kind of a blade. So thanks.